Our jobs, creative jobs, they might be the most terrible thing you'll do to yourself. And if you're not careful, let me show you. A lot of you have been told that if you can do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. But as someone who's been doing creative jobs for over 20 years, I want to build a 4-point, real-world, been there, done that, tried and true case for why you should highly consider not turning your passion into your livelihood at all. I want to convince you that art jobs are a scam. They're not really art, and they're not really a job either. Let's start with an anecdote. I have recently had a conversation with a friend of mine, a fellow creative who was out of work for quite a while, brilliant guy, kind of messed up, knows how to work a room, drinks a little too much as we do, and he informed me that he's landed a new job. He said it's relatively good pay and more importantly does not require him to be creative at all. It's beautiful, he tells me. I can just sit there, get some stuff done, get paid, and go about my day. Now, this guy, he's not a drone. I tell ya, he's got the itch, our itch. He needs to create something, doesn't matter what, to keep his psyche intact. And yet, he declared with such joy, such glee that his new non-creative job is so great. And I was, in fact, not surprised. I knew exactly what he meant. You see, for me, I always had creative jobs because I just fell into it. I never knew how to do anything else. At around the age of 13, I started designing form signatures in Photoshop, and soon after that, I started taking graphic design freelance gigs. I never questioned it. I never thought I could make money in any other way. Basically, 13-year-old Zyfit fucked his own shit up for good with a career choice he never realized the following 4 things about. And I'm going to list them in order of severity. We're going to start with the easy stuff. Reason number 1, the stress of having to be creative every day will burn you out faster than your grandma burns toast because you're simply not always creative. Anybody who's done this for a while knows you can be in a role for one moment and then bam, 3 fucking months of everything I do is complete garbage. And there's no way around it. What that creates is a setting where the quality of your work can vary to such an extent that people might start thinking that the guy they hired is not the guy they got anymore. Imagine the stress of being completely blocked when you're expected to pump out masterpieces every goddamn day, where quality creative output is so closely tied to your emotional well-being, how well rested you are, how genuinely interested you are in what you're working on, that any minor disturbance can make you completely miss the mark. Now, I'm not saying that all this does not exist in any other job that some level of thinking is required, but having tasted a bit of the more menial work around the roles I was at, I can tell you this. I have often genuinely found it such a relief to be assigned completely boring tasks that make money with none of the high stakes creative thinking required. In this business, you will very soon learn that when money to pay the bills is the end game, the amount of care for how you make it kind of fades pretty quickly. Reason number 2, most of the time, the quality of your output is not being measured objectively. Most of the feedback you'll get will be down to personal taste. You will be working with people who either understand nothing about what makes, say, a design genuinely good, have zero taste or intuition, tell you to change a certain shade of red because it reminds their 5-year-old nephew of a basketball team they don't like, or maybe you'll work with a great art director, but their vision will be theirs and you'll find yourself the creator that you wanted to be, somebody's execution unit, thinking to yourself, hell, if all I do is execute, I might as well execute on something I care less about. Yes, because the dichotomy of having to hand over control of something you're deeply passionate about stings much worse than doing a job that needs to be done with more classically expected outcomes, like crunching numbers or insert whatever it is, just has less personal stakes for you. Again, personal experience here. The higher the pay, the less thinking required, the more job satisfaction. Reason number 3, this is where it really starts hurting. You're constantly being judged for something deeply personal. Early on in my career, I worked at a big company and there was this guy, he was like from finance or something. And I was new at the organization. We were both smoking a cigarette downstairs and he asked me what I do. And I said, I'm a designer. I just started here. And he looked at me and said something like, ooh, a designer, why would you do that to yourself? And I kind of understood what he meant, but not as deeply as I know it now for a fact. Creatives are often sensitive, and we're most sensitive about the work we deeply care about. When you take up a creative profession, you're essentially taking something that you're deeply passionate about, that is deeply personal to you, and you put yourself in a position where your every day is having people judge it. You do it to yourself. And it's an honest to God bad call. Now, granted, you will be judged on your output in every job, but believe me, being told that you have typos in an email or you forgot to add a number to a summary does not sting anywhere near as taking something you invested in deeply, that you personally love, that you think is a piece of brilliance, and have it be shot down on the spot. Sometimes downright laughed at. Sometimes maybe it's just a face, a kind of a meh reaction, something you literally poured your soul into. This is your life now. Every goddamn day. Not a once in a while thing, not some once a year presentation you actually worked hard on. Every day. Judgment of your very fucking soul. And some of you might say, well, then you get desensitized over time, and that's great. And you know what? You do, but not in the way that you think. Sometimes, in order to survive, you just stop caring. Which brings me to my next point. Turning your creative hobby into a job for money done for somebody else will kill your passion for it quicker than Strawberryina cheats on Bananino when he runs out of money, man. If you're like me, creating might have been something that you got into because that was your escape. That was where you could call the shots. That's the one thing that can't be taken away from you. You might not realize this yet, but there's something almost sinister about sacrificing this to the gods of money, to an honest-to-God, terrible human being, narcissistic boss that'll end up taking credit for anything half good that you ever do and reduce your personal world to a cog in servitude of his cynical greed. You stop caring about doing good work and you start treating your once beloved craft as this thing that needs to be gotten out of the way with as little friction as possible so that you can go back to your element and maybe, if you still have some energy left, create something for yourself in the quiet of your own home. Okay. So does that mean you shouldn't pursue your creative projects outside of a pure hobby setting? No, I don't think that. Don't get me wrong. But I think that an art job is a scam. It's not really art and it's not really a job. It's taking your best skills and passions and pouring it into something that you do not care about because somebody said do what you love and you won't work a day in your life. Oh, you will work, and you will work the shittiest profession there is. So what should you do? In my opinion, just keep it to yourself, man. Keep it your thing. Guard your thing. Don't give your thing to the man. Think about Einstein, Tolkien, Kafka. Heck, think about Bukowski, sorting mail. All of these guys had day jobs. What they truly cared about remained theirs. Some of you might think, well, I'll do professional art stuff during the day and my own project during the night. Personally, I think a job that is remote from art will possibly give a much better balance if you want to pursue a personal project on the side in that manner. I'm not saying don't be an artist, but I am saying be wary of art as a job. You know, write your book, paint your paintings, try to publish them, send them to the gallery, do all that stuff. It'll be hard, but it'll at least be yours. You'll get criticized, but you'll get criticized on your own terms when you're ready for it. Don't go work in some studio where they'll exploit the shit out of you and have you burnt out by 35. Look, of course, I can't tell you what to do. And maybe there are people out there who are genuinely thriving at these jobs and having a great life. Everybody's different. Obviously, my opinion, my experience is only mine. You're a grown person. You'll make your own mistakes. If you're kind of just considering it and not sure what to choose, you have some pros and cons in your head, and you can resonate with what I'm saying, consider yourself tipped in the direction that suits you. Until next time, friends.